Thank you so much for joining us tonight for our Friends of the Library annual meeting. I'm Jennifer Sammons, I'm the president of the Friends, and on behalf of the executive board, I want to welcome you all. We're so very grateful for your support of both the Friends and our fabulous library system. For those of you that may not be familiar with the Friends, we're a 501c3 nonprofit group. We're made up of volunteers and donors dedicated to raising money for public programming at the library and for bringing awareness to the vital role that the library plays in our community. The Friends operate the Friends of the Library bookstore here at the main branch down in the atrium. Hope you all have visited there. It's a volunteer-run shop featuring gently used books for all ages, as well as media like DVDs, CDs, and puzzles. Raise your hand if you have volunteered in the bookstore or currently volunteer in the bookstore. All right. Thank you. We have now more than 100 volunteers that give their time every month to work in the bookstore, either sorting donations, shelving books, or putting together displays and selling books. And we're always looking for donations. So if you're cleaning out your shelves, there's a big white bin down in the atrium where you can leave your donations at any time. Also in the atrium near that bin, you'll notice a self-service bookshop under the staircase. So if you're not able to get to our bookshop during open hours, there's a selection of books there for you to browse and purchase. There's a similar self-service bookstore at the North Quincy branch near their rear entrance. So check that out next time you're up there. Besides selling books, the Friends also maintain the beautiful garden beds along the front and the side of the library. Claire, raise your hand. This is Claire. She heads up our gardening volunteers and does a fantastic job making those spaces so stunning and inviting for all of our library guests. She volunteers with the Wollaston Garden Club and other volunteers on maintaining those beds. So if that's something you might be interested in giving your time, you can go chat with her later this evening. All right, the Friends have had quite a year. When I was looking back at everything and writing these words, I can't believe all that we've accomplished this year. We still have 2 more months to go in our fiscal year, and we've already raised more money through our annual appeal than we ever have before. The bookstore has set sales records once again for, I think, the 3rd year in a row, which is amazing. So thank you to all of you who made that happen. In addition to raising a record amount of funds this year, we've spent a little bit of time getting our ducks in a row. The organization is growing and maturing. We're bringing in more money. We're bringing in more people and volunteers. So we've worked this year on crafting some policies and guidelines to build trust and transparency. We created and implemented an ethics policy, official volunteer policies. We enacted volunteer background checks and began documenting procedures to make life easier for future board members and volunteers. We also brought on a new volunteer coordinator. Where'd she go? Hannah, raise your hand. So Hannah oversees the scheduling of those 100 volunteers that I spoke about for our bookstore and donation sorting. She and Ann Acton, who is also here somewhere, over here by Claire. Ann is our bookstore chair. They both work together to launch a volunteer training program this year to make sure that our volunteers have all the information they need to perform their tasks. Additionally, in the bookstore this year, we partnered with a consignor named Donnelly Delivers, and they are helping us maximize the amount of money we get in for our book donations. So Matt looks through our book donations as they come in for niche items, first editions, antiques, books of high value, and then he posts these to Amazon and eBay for us, and we split the proceeds. And we were really excited because the very first book that we sold through him was a first edition of the Bell Jar that brought in $173, which is way more than the $2 we would have got for it. Sylvia Plath, first edition. Yeah, we get great donations. Yeah. In the 8 months we've been working with Matt, he's sold close to $4,000 worth of books and media for us, so that brought in $2,000 for the Friends. Also, you may have seen us around town this summer. The Friends set up informational tables and mini book sales at the Kilroy Farmers Market, Open Heritage Day, the Olmsted Lawn Party, and at our 2 library after-hours events. We've enjoyed talking to people about the Friends. I know some of you have manned those tables too, so thank you for that. Selling books and handing out bookmarks. If you visited any of our tabling events this year, then you saw our new tote bag. These are a new fundraising stream for us. And if you would like one, there's going to be a few for sale over by the door. They're $20 each, and all the proceeds go back to the Friends. As I previously mentioned, we brought in a record amount of donations this year, and we can't thank you enough. Your donations have allowed the library to fund an incredible number of programs this year. The programming and attendance numbers that I got at the end of March show that you've already helped fund more than 500 programs with more than 13,000 attendees, and we still have 3 months to go. This includes an incredible range of programming, including children's story times, movies, teen activities, craft programs in the Cranium Makerspace, concerts, yoga classes, genealogy programming, workshops for job seekers, literacy programs for English language learners, and so much more. Your donations also fund the library's Museum Pass program, providing free or discounted admission to cultural institutions across the state. Your gifts also helped fund a set of raised garden beds and gardening workshops at the Adams Shore branch this past fall. And our most recent funding project, which I am super duper excited about, is for a book bike, which I'll send some of these around because you probably can't see very well from up here. But it's basically a mobile library. Oh, yes. So it's like a tricycle. So think like a tricycle with a big box of books on the front, kind of like an ice cream vendor. But library staff is going to be able to ride it around to underserved areas in town or around Wollaston Beach in the summer and allow people to check out library materials and access library resources. So we were super excited and we worked really hard to get, you'll see it has our branding all around it, and we were hoping it would get here in time for tonight, but it's arriving on Friday, so it's 2 days too late. But I'll send out email once we get that, and you can see it in action. So I can't say thank you enough for providing us with the funds to run all these programs. We can't do this without you. If you haven't had a chance yet to donate this year, there's a QR code at the table over here where Jackie is. We also take cash and checks. So thank you very much. All right, on to our business meeting. First up is approval of the minutes from our 2025 annual meeting. This is a vote for members of the executive board only. These were emailed out. I had a small correction on Lisa's last name. Did anyone else have any other changes for the 2025 minutes? I don't see any. So could someone on the executive board please make a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? All right, thank you. Next, on to the executive board election. All friends in good standing, which means any of you in here that have given a donation more than $15 within the last 12 months can vote on this one. So I am going to read the full slate. If you're present, please raise your hand when called. Jennifer Sammons, President. Hillary Miller, Vice President. Catherine Lind, Secretary. Oh, in the back, there she is. Lisa Lang, Treasurer. Oh, over there. Nadine Steffen, Assistant Treasurer. And then our at-large members, Claire Fitzmaurice, Abigail Meacham, Sarah Noonan, Sarah Paez, Alyssa Tasek, by the door, Jackie Rector, and Asher Tulsky. Could someone please make a motion to approve the 2026-2027 slate of executive board members? Second, anyone? Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, thank you. As we welcome in our new board members, I'd like to take a minute to publicly thank 2 executive board members who are ending their terms. Unfortunately, they couldn't be here tonight, but I'd first like to thank Laura Owens for her service. Laura spent many, many years on this board, and for years she produced the printed newsletters that we used to mail out. As you all know, it's become very expensive to print and mail things, so we switched over to digital newsletters, and Laura was great about adjusting to that. So let's give her a round of applause. And I also want to thank Erin Costigan, who had served on the board since 2022. And Erin jumped right in to help with our social media marketing. She ran our Facebook and Instagram page for several years. So let's also give her a round of applause. And I did send them a little surprise. I think maybe I forwarded it to the executive board, but I'll show you later. It's a very cute mini tote bag. All right. While we're doing thank yous, I'd also like to give a big shout out to our bookstore committee and to our bookstore donation sorters. This shop runs so smoothly thanks to you all, and I appreciate all the time that you give to the friends, so thank you. All right, now I'm going to hand it over to Nadine for our budget presentation.
Hi, everybody. I'm Nadine Steffen, treasurer for the Friends. I've been doing this for about 10 years now, and I'm going to be stepping down to be assistant treasurer, and Lisa is going to be stepping up as treasurer. So the first order of business is to approve the April budget report. We're very close to our goal of $25,000 in book sales and hoping that we'll exceed that this year. You'll see that at the top of the budget report. We've received over $28,000 in donations so far this fiscal year, which is over $6,000 more than we budgeted. So that's good news. This year, we also began supporting archives and special collections programs, as well as programs in the makerspace. Near the bottom of the budget report, you'll see something called special projects under organizational expenses. And that was for the purchase of the book bike. And we'll also be purchasing some bike helmets to go with that. So I just need a motion from someone on the executive board to approve budget report for April.
Catherine made a motion. I'll second.
Catherine? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now, if you go to the next page, we have the comparison budget showing 2024, 2025, and 2026. And on this, you'll see that the book sale numbers have increased, and more notably, our donations have climbed steadily over the past 2 years. We're over $11,000 more than we had brought in 2024. We spent close to $50,000 in programming for this year, in programming supplies and museum passes. So I just wanted to thank everyone for their support, and hopefully we can continue at this speed in spending. Thank you.
Thank you, Nadine. And as she was talking about spending money is good. We want to spend all the money that we bring in. That's a good thing. All right, next up we have Library Executive Director Sarah Slyman for a few words.
Thank you. Sorry. There's a lot going on up here.
You continue to do stuff.
Okay. So, hi everybody, nice to see you. I recognize lots of faces from years past. For anyone that doesn't know me, like Jen said, I'm Sarah Slyman. I'm the Executive Director of the library, and next week I will have been here for 4 years, so very exciting. Thank you for inviting me to speak tonight and for all the hard work that you tirelessly do for the library and the Friends, from the Executive Board to the Bookstore Committee and the volunteers, and those of you that support us in other ways, my never-ending gratitude. Your dedication and enthusiasm are instrumental to the many successes that the library enjoys. I'm so appreciative of you giving your time and efforts to support the work that we all do here. It has been an exciting year at the library. We've been extremely busy. We serve 369,000 plus people, which shakes out to 39,000 visitors per month and almost 1,100 per day. As you all know, the main library is open 7 days a week, so it's a lot of people every day. We expanded our hours at North Quincy this year, adding Friday afternoon hours for the first time in recent memory, and it's been remarkably busy every Friday. For anyone who's been to North Quincy after school, we have 7 schools within walking distance, and we are just overflowing with kids learning and having fun. We completed a complete internal renovation of the Wollaston branch, so anyone who uses that as their regular branch, we replaced the carpet and all the furniture and completely repainted the interior, and it really has been totally transformed. It looks like a different building. And with the generous support of the Friends, Adam Shore has added a community garden and frequent programming on how to commit to sustainable gardening initiatives at home and throughout the community. Before the end of the fiscal year, we plan to deploy digital signage throughout all the libraries and to open a memory lab, which is a facility where you can convert your obsolete technologies to digital formats. So you could bring in your old VHS tapes, your old home movies on 8mm cassettes that you recorded things on. Embarrassingly, I have quite a few of those from when I was a journalism major, but I'm not converting because I don't want anyone to hear them. But so you can convert them, and also any old music you have, anything at all can be converted onto a thumb drive or a disk drive or just emailed up into the cloud. Next year, we're looking forward to completing our multilingual signage initiative throughout the library system. North Quincy is done, so when you go to North Quincy, you'll see that all of our signage there is in the top 4 languages spoken in the city. We are also excited to finish the renovation of the Friends book sorting area, which is directly below us for anyone who hasn't been to it. When I arrived, it was this entire building was just raw basement space with ancient crumbly poured concrete and exposed pipes and exposed rock walls. And over the years, we've fixed the floor and added some bookcases and cleaned up the ceiling a little bit. But by the end of this coming fiscal year, it's going to be a real room down there, and it'll be shelved all along all the walls. I think it'll make for a much more pleasant working space. And I know Jennifer already talked about it, but we really are thrilled to be deploying the Crane at the Beach initiative this summer. I sort of envision it like an ice cream truck, but for the library. The book bike will circulate along the city's beaches with books to check out while relaxing in the sun. So we have to pick our theme music, so any recommendations accepted. It is absolutely beautiful, thanks to the graphic designs of our own Alyssa, who is back here. Professional graphic designer who lent us her talents for that, and I think some of you saw the handouts, it's gorgeous. And that is all happening entirely thanks to the generosity of the Friends. We have 8 volunteers from staff ready to ride that thing around, so very excited about the response. So I don't want to drone on and on. You all have an exciting program ahead of you tonight, but I do want to thank you all one last time for your hard work and dedication. We literally couldn't do what we do without any of you. So thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. All right, let me check the time really quick. All right, we have 8 minutes, and I don't want to start the program until 7 o'clock because that's what we advertise. So I am going to introduce Sarah Paez, who put together our presentation for tonight. And Sarah, if you kind of want to introduce the tables, and we can take a quick little break. There's some tea and snacks at the end if you want to grab a little snack before our presentation, but we won't start that until right at 7. So, quick intro.
Thanks, Jennifer. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Tonight, we're very lucky to have with us representatives from the National Park Service as well as Historic New England. I don't know if either of you all would like to come up and say anything to the group. While they're coming forward, also, so folks are aware, we have Keela from Next Chapter Books, who does have a number of our authors' books here for purchase. And of course, there are some snacks for everybody in the back. So, come on, guys, thanks.
Hi, I'm Carla Rosenstein from Historic New England. I'm the site manager of the Quincy House here in Quincy in the Wollaston neighborhood. You may be familiar with it, but you maybe have never heard of it, which is why I'm here. So that hopefully you will come and check it out because it's a really interesting historic house. but we're sort of hidden away in the neighborhood, so we don't get seen as often. But we have a really great story that overlaps with the Adams family, the Quincy family. We're, very connected to all of them and to the story that you'll hear about later, which I think even has a scene in the Quincy house. So hopefully you will come and see us. We open this Saturday, and we're open every Saturday through mid-November. Thanks.
Hi there, my name is Tyler D'Ambrosio. I'm one of the rangers at Adams National Historical Site. Our park is a really special place. It's one of the few historical homes at the old house at Peacefield where you can actually see the real artifacts owned by the people who lived there in the places they would have had them, including many things owned by Abigail Adams, including some of her things in her bedroom. We have a mirror that she owned, as well as the horseshoe she nailed above the door to wish good luck to people as they were leaving the house. So we have a lot of really interesting stuff in there. We also have the two birthplace homes of her husband, John, and the house she was living in at the time of the Revolution, where she and John had their children. We are open from Wednesday through Sunday, from generally about 9:30 to 4 o'clock, 4:30 every day. It's a really cool site, so we're right here in town, kind of split in different areas. We have at our table a QR code so you can get information about our website, see the tour times, and we have a visitor center downtown you can also visit in order to get some other information. We also have pamphlets. The tour info on them is outdated, so don't trust those. Go off of the website, please. All right. I do want to thank the Friends of the Library for inviting us, though. We're very happy to be here for this kind of event.